Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Badur said that the situation in the country remains peaceful and warned the people not to make any speculation on the latest political developments that could disrupt peace. Well, Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said he had been granted an audience by Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah yesterday to brief His Majesty on the security situation in the country.
Saya berada di istana pada hari tadi, dititahkan oleh tuanku untuk menghadap dan seterusnya mentaklimatkan kepada ke bawah duli tuanku tentang keadaan ketenteraman awam dan keselamatan negara. Dan saya telah mentaklimatkan kepada tuanku bahawa keadaan dalam negara kekal tenteram, aman dan timbul kekhawatiran tentang perkara-perkara yang ada hubung kait dengan kembangan politik ni. Tetapi pada keseluruhannya keadaan terus aman dan tenteram.
Tan Sri Abdul Hamid said police would act firmly to ensure the democratic process continues to run smoothly. He also urged the public to refrain from making speculation and spreading false news which could create public anxiety.
Well, Bank Negara Malaysia said that the central bank is closely monitoring conditions within the financial markets in light of recent developments that are currently unfolding. Well, Bank Negara said in a statement, while ringgit movements will continue to be market determined, BNM's market operations will ensure sufficient liquidity and orderly financial market conditions.
Yesterday, the ringgit weakened while the Malaysian stock market fell substantially amid an unusual confluence of factors including the COVID-19 global outbreak, lower crude oil prices and Malaysia's political uncertainty. The ringgit depreciated to its weakest level against the US dollar at 4.2271, while the FBM KLCI closed down 41.14 points or 2.69% at 1,490.06.
And coming up next, 2 more COVID-19 patients recovered and discharged. Updates continue. Now, 2 more COVID-19 patients have fully recovered and was allowed to leave home yesterday. According to a statement from the Ministry of Health, both the Chinese nationals were treated at Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya hospitals.
The patients were the 14 and 19 cases involving Chinese nationals. As of now, a total of 20 COVID-19 patients have fully recovered in Malaysia. So far, there has been no new positive case of COVID-19 in the country, with just 2 people still receiving treatment at hospitals. Both of them are reported to be in stable condition.
Well, the death toll in Europe's largest outbreak of COVID-19 rose to 6 on Monday, while new cases climbed above 220 as Italy shut down much of the wealthy north of the country to try to prevent the spread of the disease. Well, Chief of Italy's Civil Protection Agency, Angelo Borelli, said the new cases in the wealthy northern Lombardy and Veneto regions were located in the red zone areas.
Authorities in Lombardy and Veneto, the industrial and financial heartlands of Italy, shut schools, universities, museums and cinemas for at least a week and banned public gatherings, including the famed Venice Carnival. 10 towns in Lombardy, close to Italy's business capital Milan, with a combined population of nearly 50,000, have been placed under effective quarantine with similar measures adopted for a small town in neighbouring Veneto. As police check all vehicles, only allowing authorised personnel to enter in Lombardy's Castel Pusterlengo, local authorities announced 3 new deaths on Monday, all men in their 80s. The 3 previous fatalities recorded since Friday were also all elderly patients suffering from underlying health problems. Lombardy remained the worst hit region with some 172 confirmed cases, while neighbouring Veneto had 32 infections, including 4 in Venice. Officials said 23 people were in intensive care, while almost 100 were being monitored in their own homes, with many of them showing no outward symptoms.
Well, China's measures in tackling the COVID-19 outbreak have probably prevented hundreds of thousands of cases in the country. Well, the head of the visiting World Health Organization, or WHO delegation, said multiple data sources supported the general downward trend in the number of infections being reported by the Commission, despite some statistical issues observed in recent weeks.
China probably prevented hundreds of thousands of coronavirus cases, said WHO. The WHO team in recent days inspected various parts of China, including Wuhan, the capital of Hubei province and the epicenter of the outbreak. More than 20 province-level jurisdictions, including Beijing and Shanghai, reported 0 infections, the best showing since the outbreak began.
What worries me most is, has the rest of the world learned the lesson of speed? We have outbreaks in multiple countries right now increasing at exponential growth rates. And you've seen what that does. This is the difference between getting on top in every other area and exponential growth in one area. It's devastating.
The virus has killed nearly 2,600 people in mainland China alone and infected nearly 80,000 to date. More than 3,000 medical staff in China had been infected by the new coronavirus, National Health Commission official Liang Wanyan told reporters, underscoring the threat posed by the virus. Those infections mostly occurred in Hubei and were likely due to the lack of protective gear and fatigue.
And back here on Malaysian soil, 7 policemen, including one with the rank of assistant superintendent, found themselves on the wrong side of the law when they were charged with soliciting 500,000 ringgit from a lorry driver's helper in September last year. Well, the 7 accused, aged between 35 and 38, and attached to the Marine Police Intelligence Unit, pleaded not guilty after the 2 charges were read out to them by a court interpreter before Judge Muhammad Ghazali Muhammad Taib at the Kuantan Sessions Court.
They were first jointly charged with soliciting a 500,000 ringgit bribe from one G. Nadesa Pillay through Chan Chin Min as inducement to release 3 lorries which were transporting 700 boxes containing 35,000 cartons of contraband cigarettes, 59 boxes containing 708 bottles of liquor with unpaid duties, and 3 lorry drivers, Liu Xiaofu, Chan Chi Choi and Chang. On the second count, the policemen were jointly accused of committing extortion, which put Nadesa Pillay in fear by seizing the contraband cigarettes and bottles of liquor with unpaid duties if he failed to pay the bribe, which saw Nadesa handing over 89 boxes containing 4,900 cartons of contraband cigarettes and 59 boxes of 708 bottles of liquor with unpaid duties. They had allegedly committed both the offences at SK Kedai Junction in Rompin between 3 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. on 19 September last year. Judge Ghazali then set bail at 15,000 ringgit each with 1 sortie and ordered them to surrender their passports. He fixed 25th March for mentioned.
Harvey Weinstein found guilty of sexual assault and rape. This and more in our foreign segment. Well, former Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein was convicted of sexual assault by a New York jury on Monday, a victory for the #MeToo movement that inspired women to go public with misconduct allegations against powerful men. Now, once one of Hollywood's most powerful producers, Weinstein, 67, was convicted of sexually assaulting former production assistant Mimi Hale in 2006 and raping Jessica Mann, a one-time aspiring actress, in 2013. 13.
Weinstein faces up to 25 years in prison. He was acquitted on the more serious charge of predatory sexual assault, which carried a potential life sentence. During his trial, Weinstein often appeared feeble, entering the courthouse using a walker. He sometimes leaned on his lead attorney, Donna Ratuno, for support. More than 80 women, including famous actresses, had accused him of sexual misconduct stretching back decades. He had denied the allegations and said any sexual encounters were consensual.
Well, police are investigating the motive of a German man who plowed his car into a carnival parade in the western town of Wolkmarsen on Monday. 30 people were injured, and about a third of which were children.
German prosecutors and police said the suspect, a 29-year-old German citizen, was being treated for injuries sustained in the incident, and they were looking into all possibilities. German news website HNA cited witnesses saying the man appeared to have targeted children and had driven at full throttle into the crowd, which had gathered for a traditional procession ahead of the Christian season of Lent. Police assume it was an attack, but there were no indications that it was politically motivated. The incident comes less than a week after a man shot dead 9 people before killing his mother and himself in one of the worst racist attacks in Germany since World War II. Police called off all carnival parades in the German state of Hesse, where Wolfsmarsen is located, as a precautionary measure, but said they were not aware of any danger elsewhere in Germany. Carnivals are hugely popular in parts of Western Germany, especially in Rhineland cities such as Cologne and Düsseldorf, where festivities peak on Rose Monday with tens of thousands attending street parades featuring comical or satirical floats.
Well, explosions rocked the Gaza Strip and southern Israel on Monday night as Israeli airstrikes and Palestinian rocket barrages were launched. Israel carried out airstrikes on Gaza and sites in Syria that killed 3 Islamic Jihad members.
Witnesses in Gaza reported hearing Israeli strikes, and the Israeli military confirmed that it was hitting targets connected with a group in the coastal enclave. The violence comes a week before an Israeli election in which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is seeking a 5th term in office after 2 inconclusive votes.
Coming up in sports, Chelsea and Bayern go head-to-head in an unpredictable face-off. It's about tennis. Now, world number 1 Novak Djokovic began his Dubai Tennis Championships campaign on Monday with a comfortable 6-1, 6-2 victory over Malik Jaziri of Switzerland.
The Serb needed just an hour to beat Jaziri and set up a second-round meeting with Germany's Philipp Kohlschreiber. Meanwhile, Russia's Karen Khachanov survived an early scare before fighting back to beat Kazakhstan's Mikhail Kukushkin 7-6, 6-1. Khachanov had to fight back from losing his serve twice in the first set before easing through the second to win in 90 minutes.
2 sets still up, 7-6, 6-1.
Well, on football, Chelsea prepared to face an on-form Bayern Munich in the Champions League on Tuesday in the first leg of the last 16 round in what is a repeat of the 2012 Champions League final, which the English side won on penalties. Now, Chelsea manager Frank Lampard told a news conference the team were capable of playing at a high level, but needed to make sure they were fully concentrated and not let any strong Bayern moments linger in their minds.
So going into the game, we must make sure that every detail is and every box is ticked in both games. So yeah, we have to make sure that we can't get caught up in game moments, because there will be times in the game where we will probably suffer, because Bayern Munich are an incredible side with the ball. They've got some really talented players who keep the ball, use the ball well. If we have to suffer, we have to suffer. So that's our job over the next 2 games of these.
The Blues will be without midfielders N'Golo Kante, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Christian Pulisic, who are out with injuries. The Germans are without Croatian winger Ivan Perisic and defender Niklas Sule, while Leon Goretzka is expected to be back in action. Bayern coach Hansi Flick said Chelsea had weaknesses that Bayern could exploit, especially at the back.
Also Wunschergebnisse gibt's so nicht und die lassen wir offen. Das Spiel muss gespielt werden und mit aller Konzentration und mit aller Leidenschaft, die wir ins Spiel reinbringen. Ich denke, dass meine Mannschaft weiß, was sie erwartet. Sie weiß, was sie erwartet und ja, wir, wie schon gesagt haben, wir wollen mutig, selbstbewusst spielen, nach vorne spielen und ja, wir sind wirklich in dieser Anfang der Rückrunde jetzt wirklich auch in der Spur und von daher bin ich da wirklich voller Selbstvertrauen, auch was die Mannschaft angeht, dass sie das gut umsetzt.
The German league leaders have not lost a competitive game since early December, winning 8 out of their last 9 games to move to the top of the Bundesliga, a point ahead of Leipzig. They are also unbeaten in 12 straight European games on the road.
Meanwhile, Napoli are ready for Lionel Messi. Their coach Gennaro Gattuso said on Monday as they prepared to host Barcelona in their Champions League round of 16 first leg. Gattuso, who will be coaching in the competition for the first time in Tuesday's match, having replaced Carlo Ancelotti in December with the team in disarray after the club fined the players for refusing to take part in a training camp, also stressed that his side cannot solely focus on the Argentina great.
Vedo una squadra che riesce a non subire, sicuramente c'è da subire Barcellona perché Barcellona lo subiscono tutti, ma che gioca con la testa alta, che non ha paura, che non dia la sensazione di stare là ed essere preoccupata. Voglio vedere una squadra viva, una squadra che rispetta l'avversario ma che se la gioca fino alla fine.
Meanwhile, Captain Lorenzo Insigne hailed Messi as the strongest current player in the world, but would not get drawn into comparisons with the legendary Maradona, who spent 7 trophy-laden years in Naples from 1984 until 1991. Well, a gallery of basketball legends joined thousands of Kobe Bryant fans in Los Angeles on Monday to pay tribute to the transcendent NBA star, his daughter, and 7 others who died in a helicopter crash last month. Well, the celebration of life memorial at the Staples Center featured an emotional address by Bryant's widow, Vanessa.
Vanessa told a rap audience that included a National Basketball Association luminaries and show business celebrities about the pain of losing her 13-year-old daughter Gianna and the husband she called her soulmate.
He was the most amazing husband. Kobe loved me more than I could ever express or put into words. He was the early bird and I was the night owl. I was fire and he was ice, and vice versa at times. We balanced each other out. He would do anything for me. I have no idea how I deserved a man that loved and wanted me more than Kobe. God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to heaven together. Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson and former Bryant teammate Shaquille O'Neal were among the Basketball Hall of Famers who attended the memorial, which opened with a performance by singer Beyonce and a montage of Bryant's on-court highlights. Fans gathered outside the arena hours before the ceremony started, many of them clad in Lakers purple and gold. Bryant, 41, and the others were killed on January 26 in a crash in Calabasas, California, while en route to a youth basketball tournament at which Kobe was planning to coach his daughter and her teammates. Vanessa Bryant filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the operator of the helicopter.
Well, Kobe Bryant will truly be missed. And that concludes today's edition of Update at Noon. In our top story, King appoints Tun Dr. Mahathir as interim Prime Minister. Join us again at 7 p.m. for more updates here, the latest happenings around the world. Thanks for joining us once again. I'm Carlos, and stay tuned to TV2.